presentation of Fox Sports.
We are the Fox. We are FC.
It looked bleak. Down 6-2 and just 6 outs to go. Was it over? Was this the end of the run? But then it happened again. The magic and the resiliency that defined the Kansas City Royals. The team that never quits didn't.
Here's Kendrys Morales now. Back up the middle. Off Correa on into center field. Kansas City has tied it in the 8th.
Eric Hosmer made sure the Royals headed home to play a deciding 5th game. Kansas City did win that Game 5, which allowed them to advance to the ALCS and eventually win their 2nd World Series title. But as any Royals player or fan will tell you, that Game 4 in Houston was where this team proved that they had the heart of a champion. Tonight, the Royals make their first trip back to Houston since that game. In the city and the stadium where the season was saved.
Royals baseball from downtown Houston, Texas. And tonight the Royals begin a 4-game series with the Astros. And Royals baseball is presented by Academy Sports and Outdoors. Right stuff, low price, every day. Hi everyone, welcome back to the ballpark with Rex Hudler. I'm Ryan Lefevre. It's the Astros home opener. It will be awkward, I'm sure, for them because while they have a lot to celebrate from 2015, the team that knocked them out of the playoffs will be in the other dugout.
That's right. Second opener by the Royals on teams that they defeated, but that's a beautiful thing. The Royals are world champions, and the Houston Astros know it. Going to be a real nice start to the season for them in their opener, but nothing can spoil the party worse for them than a KC victory.
Yeah, and it's very early in the season, but we're probably looking at 2 of the best teams in the American League. This might not be the last time we see the Astros in the postseason. Let's talk about Houston's 2016 chances. We'll discuss that when we come back. Royals fan getting ready to enter Minute Maid Park for the Astros home opener. That is a brave Royals fan getting ready to enter Minute Maid Park for the Astros home opener. The Royals are 4-1. The Astros are 2-4 to begin the season.
Yep, you know, the Houston Astros, they've got a lot of power in their lineup. There's no doubt about that. There's no easy outs. But the pin to win is not working, and that's a bad sign playing against the Kansas City Royals that have that comeback ability. They got a good-looking young first baseman, but they're going to need a lot more of those guys to beat the world champs.
It'll be Chris Young trying to keep the Astros in the ballpark. Right-hander Colin McHugh will start for Houston. Festivities are complete, and we are ready for baseball. It's the Royals and the Astros, and the first pitch is coming up next. Royals baseball is brought to you by the Missouri Lottery. Every ticket you play gives back to schools across Missouri, so play it forward with the Missouri Lottery. By Menards, save big money at Menards on all your home improvement needs. And by your Midwest Ford dealers, visit your MidwestFordDealers.com. And tonight we are inside Minute Maid Park. Sellout crowd as you would expect. And the Astros last year tied the Toronto Blue Jays for the best home record in the American League. Royals off to a 4-1 start. Ned Yost lineup. He continues to go with the hot hand. And Ray Fuentes will start in right field against the righty Colin McHugh. So Ned, even though it looks like a platoon, it is not, as Paulo Orlando started yesterday against a right-hand pitcher. And here is Colin McHugh, who was lost perhaps in the great season of Dallas Keuchel, who went on to win the Cy Young. Colin McHugh went 19-7 for the Astros last year.
Yeah, no, he's a nice right-hander, that's for sure. He's got a good fastball that he'll rush up there. Around 90 on the average, but he'll go about 93, 94 at times. He's got a little slider, cutter, changeup, and he falls in love with that little cutter. It's a cutter-slider combination. In his last start, he didn't do so well. He threw a lot of those cutters, and they're getting hit. So hopefully he'll have some jitters from his last start. We only went just a little over an inning, and we'll see how he reacts.
He is 28 years old. Here is that last start. It was Wednesday at Yankee Stadium. The Yankees beat up the Astros in that game 16-6. And Colin McHugh, with the shortest start of his career, he went 1/3 of an inning and gave up 5 earned runs in just 1/3 of an inning and made just 43 pitches. The Astros are extremely balanced. They pitch, they hit. They are also one of the best defensive teams in the American League last year, 4th in the major leagues in defensive runs saved.
Yeah, he didn't even go a whole inning there. Wow, that's a tough first outing of the year.
Alcides Escobar, as McHugh changes speeds on him, threw a changeup for the first pitch of the game, and the count is 0-1. Esky hitting .217 against the Mets and the Twins during the Royals' first home stand. And now back with a fastball, and it's quickly 0-2. The Royals did not see McHugh during the regular season, but they saw him twice in the division series. McHugh won Game 1, and he lost Game 5, losing to Johnny Cueto. Breaking ball hit out to shallow center field. Carlos Gomez is there for the out.
We were here last year. They talked about taking the Towles Hill out. That's that big hill out in center field. But they didn't have enough time to get the construction done on it, so they're going to try to do that another time. But that'll present some issues for defensive players in center as you go. It's an incline uphill there. It can be difficult as you're running after a ball to try to get that.
And then if you do get to it, trying to throw from out there with that, it's an incline going up. It's quite a decline when you're trying to throw back to the infield.
And the other thing that's new here is the LED lighting system they have, which could present some problems for the fielders, the outfielders. They're very, very bright, and that will affect the game. I can guarantee it.
Mike Moustakas pops it up. Castro, the catcher, wants it. Would have been a much easier play for McHugh. But of course, you don't let a pitcher catch a pop-up.
Right, but did you see the highlight of Bartolo Colon catching that pop-up over his shoulder off the mound? That was beautiful.
I think when you're in your early 40s, the rule doesn't apply to you anymore because he catches everything.
He's an athlete, man, believe it.
So 2 down to Lorenzo Cain, who has always done well against the Astros. There's a breaking ball down and away for ball one.
That's his slider. You can tell a difference. The curveball that Escobar popped up has a pretty nice break to it.
Good firm fastball, 1-1.
Looks pretty straight from up here.
Two and one on Kane, who hit his first home run of the season in Game 2 with Minnesota on Saturday night. Two and two.
A beautiful ceremony before the game here. The ballpark's beautiful, man. All lit up. They gave their awards away to Keuchel, who was the Cy Young Award winner and the Rookie of the Year Correa. And they gave him some beautiful Chevy trucks before the game.
Still 2 and 2 on Kane. While the Royals defeated the Astros in the division series during the regular season, the Royals were swept here. And all throughout the season series, the Astros pitched the Royals very tough. Curveball. So Colin McHugh has a 1-2-3 top of the first inning and gets his first strikeout. Chris Young takes the mound when we come back. His second season as manager of the Astros, one of the finalists last year for American League Manager of the Year. And his team had quite a year offensively. The Astros were second in the American League in home runs, and they led the league in stolen bases. So he has a very balanced offense, and they led the league in strikeouts. So a lot of free swingers to face Chris Young, who's making his second start. He pitched well on Tuesday against the Mets. He took the loss, giving up just 2 runs in 5 innings.
Yep, he's a fly ball pitcher here in a pretty friendly hitter's park as far as the left field side goes and the right field. But Young, he has a way, and he uses that high slider or that high fastball, but he complements it with that excellent slider that moves straight down. It's got a good pitch and some occasional changeups he'll use.
Altuve got a pitch down and lines it into left field. Altuve had 200 or more hits in each of the last 2 seasons. And a look at the Royals defensively, presented by Ford. Gordon, Kane, and Fuentes in the outfield. Moustakas, Escobar, Infante, and Hosmer around the infield. And Salvador Perez and Chris Young. Omar Infante got yesterday off. Christian Colon played a role in the Royals' victory. It was Colon who reached in the 10th inning and was replaced by Terrence Gore, who scored the game-winning run. George Springer, and Altuve runs right away. The Astros run. Chris Young can be run on, and Houston has a runner at second base with nobody out.
Yep, for sure they will. Altuve, he stole 38 bags last year, but you know that's the one thing about Chris Young that everybody knows, all the scouting reports know, and the opponents, that they can steal successfully off of him.
Breaking ball strike. 1-1 on George Springer. Off to a slow start. Two years ago, George Springer made his big league debut here against the Royals. And it's a ground ball to Moustakas. So Altuve has to hold. And there is one down.
Not what he wanted. He was hoping he could get something away and he could move the runner. But when you have that type of talent with your hitters, these young hitters, they all have power. You're not going to ask a power guy to try to move the runner over. They want him to swing for the fences. That's what they do. You know, very home run friendly yard, except for center field and left center. Very quirky outfield dimensions. Walls are different. There's a lot of nooks and crannies out there, and of course we talked about Taos Hill, but you know this wall is difficult here. It goes up and over. It's really a tough play to play the outfield.
Carlos Correa, and Young misses outside with a fastball. Only 315 up the left field line, then it falls back some to left center field. 435 to straightaway center. More league standard to right field and right center field.
Yeah, now I walked out there before the game about 3 o'clock when no one was out there, just checking it out. That's a dangerous wall. There's metal. All those posts in between the scores are all metal. That wall there is the couple of advertisement. That's not padded. That's hard. It's not a cushion. And all that it's all metal right here. This is all metal, and then this is stuff that here you can punch through those, as we witnessed Alex Gordon last year when he went up to make a play, knocked one of those out. I mean, it's just got to be careful when you go towards that wall. You don't want to go head first into it.
Correa fouls it back. 2 balls and 1 strike. Carlos Correa, 2015 American League Rookie of the Year, and he wasn't called up until June. Started the season in Double-A. He was also the youngest position player in the major leagues last year.
Pretty nice numbers for 99 games. Okay, that right field wall now, that's just about maybe 7 feet tall. Hitters and outfielders can jump over that, or they can reach over it and bring a ball back. So it's pretty playable out there for a right fielder.
Good slider. 2-2 on Correa.
And Young a little bit more concerned about Altuve with 1 out than he would be with 2, because he doesn't want him to steal third base on him, get into scoring position with a sac fly. But there's that nice slider that moves straight down. It's not a lateral movement at all. He's got great depth to it, and that's a pitch that's really made him successful.
Line to right field. Fuentes dives, and he doesn't get it. And the Astros will take the lead in the first inning. So much to the delight of the home crowd, Altuve gets on, he steals a base, and Correa gets him home.
That's a great swing. That's a slider that stayed up, and he did exactly what he wanted to do. He drove it. And Raymond, great effort there. That's a good bid. You know, the wall's real close to him there, so he wasn't going to give up a triple, but it's a great effort there to try to catch that ball for Chris. Excellent swing.
First time the Royals have surrendered a run in the first inning this year. The Royals have not allowed more than 3 runs in any of their first 5 games. Colby Rasmus, 2 home runs this year, a career high 25 last year. That was during the regular season, and then he hit 4 more in the postseason.
Yeah, he caught fire at the right time for the Astros, that's for sure. But this guy's got a nice, easy, free swing, and he'll go deep to mainly left center, right center. He's got good power. He pull the ball, gets up on that toe there, that front toe there, and that's his measuring stick. He just picks it up and sets it down, kind of loads his hips from that spot. See how that little flamingo kick, but he doesn't get too far out in front to throw his weight forward. You want to try to keep that balance in the center of your body.
Slider makes it 2 balls and 1 strike. Rasmus, forever it seemed, was a big prospect in the Cardinals organization. First round pick, and 4 years after that he was their top prospect, and never fully put it together the way the Cardinals had hoped. 2 balls, 2 strikes. He spent some time in Toronto and feels at home here in Houston. First round pick in 2005. He has a brother, Corey Rasmus, who's a big league pitcher, and he was also drafted in the first round.
Where is Corey this year? I don't really know yet.
Angels?
Oh.
Into the second deck. And the Astros have 3 in the first inning.
Astros, they are coming out swinging as advertised. That's above the belt. That's a pitch there that Chris Young gets away with. A lot of guys pop it up, but Rasmus used that top hand, and he was able to stay on top of it and just muscle it out of here.
And this is Tyler White, who has been quite the sensation. He was just named the American League Player of the Week. He is 10 for 18.
Wow. And he's the newcomer on this team. That you look at him, short, stocky, powerful, has good pop, and he won the job, the first base job out of spring training.
And those 2 notes there we just showed you really kind of sum up where he's come from. He was a walk-on at Western Carolina University. That's the same school that Greg Holland went to. So just playing college ball wasn't a given. And then a 33rd round pick. 2 balls and 2 strikes.
He has a nice open stance. He can see the ball really well, and then when the pitch comes on the way, he's able to close that up a little bit. Uses the whole field. He's a good hitter overall, and they don't really have any idea what kind of power numbers he's going to put up, but they know he's got plenty of pop to fit this lineup.
Trevor Story, by the way, was the National League Player of the Week, and it's the first time ever that 2 rookies were named Player of the Week in the season's first week.
Gotta love that, man. Talk about making a splash. Do it early. Let the world know.
Still 3-2. Panera takes us around the league. So Tyler White hitting .556. Trevor Story with 7 home runs. 2 guys nobody were really talking about when spring training began. Driven to center. Kane has plenty of room out there and makes a play in front of the warning track. And there are 2 down.
I don't know if he has that kind of pop to get it over that 436 center field wall, but that's a pretty good jolt there. Young likes to challenge him with the fastball up, but that one stayed down and he had a good rip at it. You're going to attack a pitcher, you get him in that first inning, just like the Astros are doing.
Moustakas dives to make the play on Gomez, and that's the inning. And Young was hurt on Tuesday by a 2-run home run against the Mets, and now hurt in the first inning today on a 2-run home run by Colby Rasmus as the Astros get 3 in the first. Showed off some speed and power in a 3-run bottom of the first inning. The Royals went down in order against Colin McHugh in the top of the first.
Like that right there. Chris Young getting a little manicure on those nails there on the bottom of the spikes by Nick Kenny, head trainer. And that's important, man, that he does it rather than Chris Young does it. He could slice his finger on those spikes. I've seen it happen before. So that's a smart move there.
Eric Hosmer leads off against Colin McHugh. Hosmer was just 1 for 11 in the Minnesota series, but that one hit was huge. Triple in the 9th inning. The Royals tied the game with 2 against Minnesota, then won it in the 10th. Triple against Glenn Perkins on an 0-2 pitch.
6 Royals out of the 9 hitters have faced McHugh before, but 5 at-bats is the most by anyone. And that's Kendrys Morales has 5. He's 0 for 5. Haas 0 for 3. Royals are just sitting in that dugout saying, okay guys, you know what, they just set themselves up for a heartbreaking loss because we're going to come back and beat them. You know, it's almost like they sit there and say, you know, go ahead, take the lead. We'll wait you out and get to you late.
The comeback last year in Game 4, the 4 runs in the 8th inning, that was impressive. Actually 5 runs in the 8th inning. They were down by 4, so they had a 1-run lead. But it was Hosmer in the 9th inning who hit a home run, a 2-run home run to give the Royals a 3-run lead, giving Wade Davis a little more cushion for the bottom of the 9th. Now to Altuve, who won a Gold Glove last year, over to White, and there's one down. Kendrys Morales. He had the sacrifice fly in the 9th inning yesterday to score Eric Hosmer and tie the game. He has driven in 3 so far in 5 games.
Best at bat of the season so far, the young season, is Morales being able to get that, knock that sac fly in. What a catch the kid made and right on him. But for that, the adjustment that he made off of Glenn Perkins on those sliders that he threw in 5 straight was perfect. He kept his hands in and he shot that ball out there, did exactly what he did. In the previous swings, he swung over the top of him. So this guy can make some in-at-bat adjustments with the best of them. True professional hitter. Both sides of the plate, very dangerous. Be nice to see him get going. See if McHugh, 2-0, challenges him with the fastball here. He might. It's early.
Drilled to center field, right at Gomez. 2 down.
Early in the game with a 3-0 lead, you're going to see pitchers, go ahead and challenge him with the fastball. He throws the slider and the fastball almost the same percentage, though. He's fastball, slider. Gets a little bit happy with it's a cutter slider, and last year teams hit over 300 against that pitch.
Slider doesn't break much.
No, it's no combination cutter slider.
And there's his curveball. The Astros pay a lot of attention to spin rate, where they can actually measure the rotations of the ball on a breaking ball. And Colin McHugh has tremendous spin rate. Say the average curveball spins 1,500 times, and McHugh's is 2,000 times. 1,500 times per minute. Average curveball, his is 2,000 times.
Way to break out some metrics.
How about that for you?
Like it. There's a knock.
Alex has the Royals' first hit, and he's on with 2 down.
It's good for Alex's confidence. Getting him a hit early in the game, first time up. He could end up driving the bus. Way to stay with it. That's a nice breaking ball in the outer half. He stays with it. See that flamingo kick is much more abbreviated than it was in the past. He doesn't lift it up quite as high as he did in the past because he's able to control his body a lot better with the shorter lift.
Fights it off and hits it into the crowd. Great catch. Nice. Astro fan with a throwback red jersey.
Take that, son. That's how you do it.
Salvi had 2 home runs in the division series against the Astros.
Salvi, he sees that huge hole on the right side. They believe he's going to pull it, and Salvi's been working on that swing. I mean, you could fly the Goodyear blimp through that sucker. Look at that side. Salvi took a shot at it right away. He'll go into the opposite field in spring, and early so far, he'll take some shots that way.
Did it again. But McHugh did a good job of not giving pitches for Salvi to hit to the right side. And he fouls out to White. To the bottom of the second, Houston leads 3-0. Astros. We go to the bottom of the second. Here's the pride and joy of the University of Wisconsin, Joel Goldberg.
Which has nothing to do with Houston, Texas. Ryan, down by the Royals dugout. I want to talk a little bit about Chris Young and his pitch mix, because last start he was almost 50-50 four-seam fastballs and sliders. Last year, about 58% four-seam fastballs, 40% sliders. Very rarely would he throw a curveball or a changeup. I sent a bunch of text messages to different scouts around the league just asking how unique it is to see a starter with only 2 pitches in his arsenal. And the names that a couple of these guys came up with were someone like a Tyson Ross from San Diego, but he throws 2-seam and 4-seam, so he can create some deception that way. Chris Archer was the other name, but Chris Archer has the power, a different kind of pitcher than Chris. We know about the deception with the big 6'10" right-hander here. It was best described to me as this by a scout. He said, what I see from the seats when I'm scouting Chris Young does not match up with what guys say they see when they're in the batter's box. So a completely tough guy to scout and very deceptive when he's on the mound, although so far the Astros had his number in the first.
I'll bet that's true for the hitters too, Hud, that okay, this guy's got fastball 86 to 89, good slider. I'll bet it doesn't look like 86 to 89 when you're in the box.
No, and let's not forget he's 6'10", and there's not any other pitchers that tall. So
right.
that throws a huge wrench into it. Now you're looking up, and he's able to have a nice little downhill angle on that high fastball. That's why he gets a lot of pop-ups. Is that height, the deception from that comes out of there.
Right to Infante. The Royals had stacked the right side against Preston Tucker. And there's one down. Parents, sign your kids up for Slugger's Blue Crew for just $25. Members receive a blue and neon pullover, a flat bill cap, 2 tickets to a Royals game, a stadium tour, and more. Join now at Royals.com/Blue Crew. Valbuena with 1 out and nobody on. He had a 25 home run season for the Astros last year, by far a career high for him.
You know, back to Joel, what Joel was talking about with the scouts. The Royals are going to see in tomorrow's game Mike Fiers, who's a lot like Chris Young. Not quite as tall, but he goes 88 to 89 miles an hour. He's got 4 pitches, but they're trying to make him into a Chris Young, and they want him to develop his slider more. We'll talk about more about that tomorrow. But Chris Young has been a model for a lot of pitchers out there.
You know, some pitching coaches, some scouts will say that today's pitcher throws too many different pitches, that they don't really hone in on their 2 or 3 best pitches. And that's kind of the lingering effects of Greg Maddux. One and 2 on Luis Valbuena. Greg Maddux, you know, there are very few pitchers obviously in the history of the game, let alone his era, who had a 4-seam fastball, a cut fastball, a sinking fastball, a slider, a curveball, right, a change. And when he did that, you know, a lot of other pitchers felt like, well, I got to throw all of these, and you kind of water your wine. You water down your most effective pitches.
That's right. I remember when Dave Eiling got here in 2012, Luke Hochevar was a starting pitcher, and he told Luke that Luke needs to simplify. You got to simplify your pitches. You got too many of them. Stay with your bread and butter, your fastball, curveball, changeup. You got, you know, some good pitches here, you know. And he brought the cutter in when he went out to the bullpen a lot. But you know, it's a good point that in Maddux, he used to tell the stadium operations, don't put the miles per hour on the board. I don't want the hitters to see, because I'm going to throw a fastball at 88 and one at 93, and I don't want them to know. Because they go back to the dugout and they look at each other and say, I don't know what that was.
Well, when you were a player and you were in a hitter's meeting, how often did your hitting coach say, okay, he's got a 4-seam fastball, he's got a cutter, he's got a sinker, he'll throw a slider, he'll mix in a curve, he has a changeup, right? I mean, Again, sharply hit. Ball pops out of Infante's glove, but he has plenty of time. And there are 2 down. 4 of Chris Young's 5 outs so far have been on the ground. He is typically a fly ball pitcher, but if he's going to be a ground ball pitcher for a night, this is the ballpark.
Yeah, and you know, when you play this game every day and you're in a hitter's meeting and you hear your hitting coach going all over all of those pitches, you're like, you know what, I want to see a couple of his pitches on the board on the video, and that's all. I'm going to go out there and just see the ball react, and as the game moves on, the flow of the game, I'll get to see it, and I'm going to make my adjustments. So a lot of guys make in-game adjustments on pitchers, and they don't want paralysis by analysis to set in before the game. You can psych yourself out lots of times. Keep it simple.
Jason Castro, Astros catcher, 1 for 16 to begin the year. And when you're 1 for 16, doesn't it always seem like you step in the box and the count is 0-2?
And also the the ball looks like a little pea. It looks like a small little dot. When you're going good, it looks like a beach ball. It's amazing.
Pitches. Castro strikes out. So Chris Young bounces back and gets the Astros bottom of the order, 3 up, 3 down. A 3-0 lead into the top of the third. We told you in the first inning the Astros tied the Blue Jays with the best home record in the American League last year. However, our Toyota League leader shows us that going back to 2013, the Royals have the best road record in the major leagues, better than the Dodgers, the Cardinals, the Pirates, and the Tigers. So the best at home against the best in the road at Minute Maid Park. Omar Infante, Ray Fuentes, and Alcides Escobar are coming up against Colin McHugh. Infante pulls it foul past third base coach Mike Jershely.
He's ready for that fastball, I guarantee you, and he can really turn on him.
Colin McHugh has won 30 games in the last 2 years for the Astros. 19 of those last year. He pitched over 200 innings.
You know, the Yankees got to him in the first inning, just a lot like the Astros got to Young. You know, it's that first inning where you can really tax a guy, and the Yankees got him out of the game that early. I mean, now McHugh, he's home, different environment, had success in the first inning, and now he's settling in and making his pitches. Beautiful curve there.
That is his second strikeout. Both strikeouts are with that pitch, his curveball. One down in the third.
Yep, that's the one that starts up shoulder height is going to be in there for a strike. So hitters will try to react to that as they go along in their next at bats to kind of make a visual, pick it out. The one that starts out around the belt is going to be a ball.
Fastball high to Ray Fuentes, who started the first 4 games for the Royals at Kauffman Stadium.
You know, it's a good left-handed hitter's pull park, but ooh, nice.
It's off of Correa's glove, and Fuentes is on with 1 out.
It's a nice swing. What I was going to say, that high fastball from McHugh, if it's up and middle away for a left-handed hitter, you can flick it over that left field wall just as easy too. So it's an easy park to hit him, to pull him, but for a lefty, you can go over that fence there pretty easily.
Similar to Fenway Park.
Exactly. Play the wall.
Now the top of the order, Alcides Escobar. McHugh got him on a fly ball to center field in the first inning. And the slider's in for a strike, so he's really given the Royals, as far as a breaking ball goes, 2 real different looks. That hard slider and then that big overhand curveball.
Well, he knows to be successful against a great fastball hitting team like the Royals, he's got to be able to command his secondary pitches.
Into right field, should be easy for Springer.
He doesn't lose it in the LED lights.
Right. Here's Brent Strom, who was Royals pitching coach, and he can take some credit. I'm sure he won't, but he can take some credit for Colin McHugh, who was 0-8 as a major league pitcher when he arrived here in Houston, claimed on waivers. He had been with the Mets organization. He'd been with the Rockies. The Rockies thought he would be a sinker slider pitcher. Maybe they hoped at Coors Field he would be a sinker pitcher. And to that point in his career, it just wasn't working. Brent Strom saw Colin McHugh as a 4-seam fastball curveball pitcher. So got him to change his pitching arsenal, got him to change his approach. And 11 wins in 2014 and 19 wins in 2015. And Colin McHugh is part of a very good pitching rotation here in Houston.
Yeah, he can take some credit for that. It's amazing what good coaching, mentoring can do for a young guy. I mean, even an older guy that's willing to make adjustments.
Like Dave Island with Jeremy Guthrie.
Right. Little hip turn. Turned him around, man. Turned Guthrie into a world champion pitcher. Watch out coming in there. Ooh, man, Moose, go ahead. That's the one he wanted. See Castro setting up, moving inside like that usually means a heater. And Moose has been hot on pitches like that.
Hear that a lot from coaches. You talk to a batting coach or a pitching coach, and they have respect for all the other coaches in the game. But you know, if you were to go ask Dale Swaim right now about some different hitters around the league, you know, he might say, boy, I wish I could get my hands on him. Or Dave Island might say that about another pitcher, and that's what Brent Strom felt about Colin McHugh. Good coaches, they can see not only what a pitcher might be doing wrong, but they can almost kind of look into the future and say, boy, if I had him, I'd love for him to try fill in the blank.
You're exactly right. they're watching the opponents just like they're watching their own. They're always evaluating. It's a talent-driven industry.
All Moustakas could do with that pitch. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Start showing Moose in there, you know, that he starts getting it in his mind that he's coming in on him. He's going to look for a pitch, and if he leaves a mistake out over, he can turn one around in a heartbeat.
Into left field, Rasmus is back, and he makes the play. So Fuentes is stranded at first base. McHugh has 3 scoreless innings. The Astros lead 3-0. Very quickly in the bottom of the first inning. After 4 hitters, they had a 3-0 lead. And the big hit was Colby Rasmus' home run into the second deck in right field.
I'll say it was above the ball, man, right where a good power hitter likes it.
Altuve trying to get that. That's not even an elbow guard. That's a triceps guard.
Yeah.
How about that? He's got his name and his number on it.
You know, you just love energy type players like him. Maybe not be big in stature physically. Has a huge heart and a great work ethic and extreme talent. The guy never gave up. Everybody that said you can't, he said, really? Watch me, I will. And that's how you overcome that. One of the best players in baseball.
Yeah, you really do have to have both. When you're 5'5" or 5'6", you have to have the talent, obviously, but the attitude. And we told the story before. He went to an open tryout with the Astros in 2006, and they wouldn't even let him try out. He showed up, they saw how short he was, and they said, wow, sorry, we're not interested. And he went home just boiling mad. And he's out. He made contact with that ball in the dirt. Salvador Perez throws him out anyway. By the way, Salvi and Altuve are childhood friends. But Altuve went home. He stayed up all night, boiling mad that he didn't get a shot. And he went marching back the very next day and got right in the scout's face and said, you made a mistake. And boy, did they make a mistake, because they tried him out and they signed him the next day. And he won a Gold Glove last year. He won a batting title 2 years ago, hitting .341. Two strikeouts for Chris Young, and now George Springer. He grounded out to third in the first inning. The Royals will not see Dallas Keuchel. The Astros will not see Edinson Volquez. And I'm sure Springer's okay with that. Springer lost a chunk of the season last year. Volquez hit him on the left wrist and broke his wrist. Still no balls and 2 strikes. Springer played in just 102 games.
And A.J. Hinch, I remember, left him in. And then he you know, he made a diving play over that. You know, that could have broke it right there. That's why you never know when one of your hitters gets hit in the wrist. There's so many bones in that area in your hand and wrist that, you know, it's almost safe just to take the guy out for precautionary measures. Because you never know. But and we were talking about it. Remember, we were talking about it before he even went there, and sure enough, he went and gave it a head first slide. You could tell he was injured. Volquez didn't mean to do it.
We just saw the same thing happen to Robinson Chirinos, the catcher for the Rangers. The hitter starts his swing. You keep that shoulder closed. Maybe you take it off the shoulder. Low throw, and Hosmer bails out Mike Moustakas, although Moustakas' strong throw made that play happen. And they're 2 down.
When you're throwing to gold, you just get rid of it the best way you can. Hosmer, he's great at any kind of digs out of there. Moose sets his feet over the top, has to hurry the throw a little bit, but look at those hands, man. Wow. Beautiful thing when you're an infielder and you have a guy like that. You don't have to worry about where you're throwing it. Just get it over there. That's a huge luxury, I can tell you.
Carlos Correa with 2 down. He drove in the first Astros run in the first inning. His double scored Altuve, and then Correa scored on the Rasmus home run. So he's homered 3 times already in the Astros' first 7 games. And now has a base hit in the center field.
You know, Ryan, I think I've shared this with our audience before about when I was with the Cardinals. Pedro Guerrero was the first baseman, and he wouldn't catch a ball that was over his head or in the dirt at all. And Ozzie Smith, greatest shortstop of our time, had to throw the ball right to him every single time, and Ozzie would talk about it later. He'd say, "Man, you know what? I can't afford to short hop a ball or anything because Pete won't catch it. I gotta make sure I make a perfect throw every time." So believe me, having Hosmer over there at first base is a huge benefit.
Just get the ball over there.
That's it. Just get rid of it. You know it's going to be an out.
Rasmus hit a fastball into the second deck in right field. Chris Young starts him off this time with a slider. Rasmus has now homered 3 times this year. Here's our Kubota power stats. The Astros, 68% of their offense has been generated by home runs. And he takes advantage of the shift.
Well, he's that kind of athlete. Excellent placement. Didn't run out of the box too soon. Watch him. He squares around. He has plenty of time. He knows no one's over there going to throw him out, so he just waits and couldn't have rolled it with his hand any better. Excellent technique, and watch out for Rasmus. This guy's very streaky. When he's hot, he's hot. And when he's not, he's not getting any. He's not even making contact.
So 68% of the Astros runs early in the season have come on home runs. Now they're not going to keep that up, but last year they were second only to the Orioles as far as percentage of runs by way of a home run at about 44%. The Orioles were about 47%. Check swing, no swing. First base umpire and crew chief Gary Cederstrom. it's 2-0 on Tyler White, who flied to deep center field in the first inning.
You know, a lot revolves around the ballpark you play in, obviously. The Orioles, that's a launching pad, Camden Yards. This is a very friendly home run hitters park here. But when you put the teams at the K back in Kansas City, the advantage goes to the Royals. With their speed, their defense, the way they put the ball in play, they're not a home run hitting team. They beat teams in their own ballpark a different way.
Yeah, the Royals, by the way, had the lowest percentage of runs by way of a home run, but their offense still works.
Exactly. It's how you cross the plate. It's not how you hit them, how far you hit them.
That was ruled a swing, by the way, in the last pitch to Tyler White. So 2 balls and 1 strike. Up the middle, Escobar will shovel to Infante. 2 scoreless innings for Chris Young after the 3-run first. Coming up in the 4th inning, Lorenzo Cain, Eric Hosmer, and Kendrys Morales, 3, 4, 5 hitters. The Royals have a pair of singles in the first 3 innings against Colin McHugh. Lorenzo Cain is our most trusted player, brought to you by Honda. You go back to 2014, and Lorenzo Cain has hit .417 against the Astros. Last year he hit .350, and in his career .377. Fastball for a strike. McHugh struck him out with a curveball in the first inning. There's the curve, and it's 1-1. And then a slider. So there you go. Cain has seen 3 pitches in this at bat and 3 different pitches.
And the command is there with his secondary pitches. If he's not getting those secondary pitches over, he's got to use his fastball. He's in trouble. So far, so good for McHugh.
And then a curve. He just nicked it foul.
It's right where McHugh wants it. Down out of the hitting zone.
In the division series last year, the Astros won Game 1 at Kauffman Stadium, and McHugh was the winning pitcher. He gave up 2 runs in 6 innings. He only struck out 1 in that game. Cain hits a slider foul. And then in the deciding game, in Game 5 back at Kauffman Stadium, McHugh against Johnny Cueto. McHugh gave up 3 runs in just 4 innings. And Cueto threw a gem. Fastball just outside. I bet the radar gun says 91. I bet when you're thinking about that curveball and that slider, that 91 feels more like 95.
It does. You're going to get one good pitch to hit every time up, usually, when a guy's on like he is. McHugh looks like he's got his thing going. And Lorenzo's had 2 already here.
Shallow right. And Springer will make the grab. Don't miss out on some throwback fun. Zuba's Palooza Day at Kauffman Stadium Friday, April 22nd. This themed ticket will feature one-of-a-kind World Series champion themed Royals Zubaz pants and a game ticket for that night. Packages start at just $26, and you can purchase today at Royals.com/theme tickets. Don't think that all the tickets are accounted for the next homestand. Plenty of tickets, plenty of good tickets are still available. The Royals will have the Tigers for 3. And then the Orioles for 3. That'll be during Zuba's Palooza. Orioles, by the way, are 6-0. They're the only unbeaten team in the major leagues. So Detroit next Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. And then Baltimore the 22nd, the 23rd, and the 24th. Hosmer grounded out to the second baseman Altuve in the second inning. Line foul. Nice grab. A Royals fan? Yes, it is. Booed for his jersey and his cap, not for his effort.
Well, you know, you can't.
Oh,
watch out. That was coming in hot. Royals fans, they can catch the ball, believe it. They know how. I don't know who got the end of that one. Nice catch, sir. Way to show your colors.
Slider grounded right side. Under White, under Altuve. Hosmer is on with 1 out.
You gotta love that. First baseman Tyler White. He screened Altuve, got in front of him, distracted him. It's tough to concentrate on that ball when someone else is trying to get it in front of you. And Altuve wasn't ready for it. He thought White was going to get it. Now the jury's still out on this young first baseman here, whether he can handle first base duties. But when you can hit, they'll find a place for you.
He's probably saying, man, I wish I could field like you.
Yeah, and he's saying, I wish I was as tall as you too. And so does his infielders on the left side of the infield.
Hardest hit ball so far for the Royals against Colin McHugh is off the bat of Kendrys Morales in the second inning when he lined to center field.
Well, the previous 2 games the Royals played against the Twins, it was the same kind of game. Not a lot of hitting early, trying to figure out their pitching, and then they came on.
Yeah, Tommy Malone retired the first 10 on Saturday, and the Royals ended up scoring 7 runs. The Royals scored 1 run in the first 8 innings yesterday. They may not put up the numbers that some people would like to see when it comes to home run, slugging percentage, whatever, but they certainly can lull a team into a false sense of security that I've got him figured out, or I've got this team figured out today. We've seen that a lot, where the first 3-4 innings it looks like it's going to be a long day for the Royals, and then in a blink of an eye they're piling up runs.
Well, that right there, that last pitch was Morales' cookie. That was a slider, split the middle of the plate. Now he's going to probably waste a pitch here.
Curveball squirted foul, and that left side was wide open.
How many times do we see Morales do that last year? Not looking to hit one out of the park. He would just see the ball middle away and just flick his wrists over there and try to guide it over there, just like this one here.
Foul tip. Strike 3. And that is 3 for Colin McHugh.
Stayed with the fastball, came up and in on him. Good spot. Had Morales looking out over for some breaking ball stuff out there on the outer half. I thought he was going to try to make him chase away. So far, McHugh's and Castro are working the Royals just like they want.
Alex singled to center field in the second inning. He has Hosmer at first with 2 down. The cutter is inside.
Astros shift on every single hitter. The outfield is playing Alex to the opposite field. The infield is playing him to pull.
Yeah, they really took shifting to another level. It is very rare to see the Astros with the traditional alignment against any hitter.
You know, the game's been played a long time. How come in our day we didn't shift? I mean, a shift for us was 2 steps to the left.
That is into right field and all the way to the wall. Springer picks it up on the track. Hosmer's going to be held. And a good decision as the Astros got it back to the infield quickly. So Springer's speed to get to that ball and his accurate throw to Altuve forced Mike Jerschele to hold Hosmer at third.
Yep, after that first base hit by Alex, I had a feeling that that was going to get him going, and there he's able to recognize the cookie on the inner half. Can't shift that one there. That's just right to the wall, but look at the pickup at the wall by Springer. You said it. Not only does his speed, but what a pickup. He picked it and just flung it quickly. That's what prevents runners from scoring, is how quick that outfield could pick the ball up and get it in. Some guys think they take a big crow hop and they take too much time doing that. Pick it up and quickly throw it to the cutoff man. That's quicker than trying to give a heave-ho type of throw.
Salvador Perez, 2 on and 2 out. A little bit inside. Salvi fouled out to first in the second inning.
Take a look at this again. Watch how long it takes him to get that ball in. Picks it up and flings it. Didn't take a crow hop at all. Got it right to the cutoff man, and that prevented a run. That was excellent.
Curveball in for a strike. Yeah, a lot of times we give most of the credit to the infielder when the ball comes from the outfield and the infielder, the cutoff man, gets a good throw to the plate, and rightly so. They have to make the throw for the out, but that rarely happens unless the outfielder gives him a good throw. And Gomez comes up in center field and makes the play on Salvador Perez. So the Royals had 2 in scoring position, and McHugh pitches out of it in the 4th.
Royals in Boston. Home opener for the Red Sox and their new closer, Craig Kimbrell. And Ryan mentioned that the Orioles are undefeated because of this. 97 miles an hour, meet 426 feet. Kimbrell serves one up to Chris Davis. That broke a tie, 3-run home run. And the Orioles are off to a 6-0 start for their first time ever as a franchise in Baltimore. Meanwhile, in the Royals division, the Twins lost again today, so they are 0-7. Talk about trying to climb out of that hole, guys.
Yikes. We'll see highlights of that later. Carlos Gomez leads off against Chris Young. Takes a nice, easy swing.
I'm surprised his helmet stayed on. He don't get cheated.
Mike Moustakas made a nice diving play on Gomez in the first inning. 1 ball and 1 strike. One and 2.
It's a dynamic player. Guy's got a lot of flair.
That's out of play. I remember when Carlos Gomez was traded from the Mets to the Twins. He was in that Johan Santana trade, and he was a dynamic player then, but also a bit out of control. And Ron Gardenhire had a great line. He says he can do a lot of things for you. He can hit a home run. He can steal a base. He can throw a runner out at the plate. He can also throw it into the dugout. Yeah, one of those lines I'll just never forget. Now 30 years old. Signed by the Mets 14 years ago. Wow. Two balls, 2 strikes. And he, along with guys like Jose Bautista, that's a name that comes up, or names that come up when talking about going too far after hitting a home run. Bat flips. He went. He didn't agree with home plate umpire Adrian Johnson. And Chris Young has his 3rd strikeout, all with the slider.
He's got a lot of movement coming forward. Look at that fancy footwork there.
Adrian Beltre in him, too.
Yeah, there you go.
Remember when he hit that home run against the Braves? And Ryan McCann would not let him get to home plate.
Oh yeah,
that?
Yeah, that was pretty serious.
Yeah. That's something I'd never seen before, and I may never see again. Preston Tucker had in the count 2-0. He grounded out to second base in the 2nd inning. He has a couple of home runs already this year. And now 3 balls and no strikes. The Astros hit 230 home runs last season. Second to the Blue Jays. Tucker had 13 of those. A high strike, 3-1. That is Chris Young's first walk. And the Astros have a runner at first with 1 down.
Opening night here, Minute Maid Park. Not a lot of room for Royals fans, but those fans right there are extremely special. That's the Ramshaws. Kathy and Ryan, the 2 on the left there, they're out here in Houston. And happy to see the Royals play. Thrilled to have them.
Here's Luis Valbuena. That's fouled away. Valbuena grounded sharply to Infante in the second inning. A little bit outside, 1-1.
Kathy, the proud mother of Ryan, from Topeka, Kansas. They're out here having fun.
Just finding out that they've been on television.
Yeah, and we're just wishing him well. He's out here getting cancer treatments. We wish him well, man.
Hit well to right center field, and Fuentes won't get to it. That ball hit a weird angle. They're going to wave home Tucker. Escobar's throw to the plate. A little bit late. And going into third is Valbuena. And that's just what we were talking about last inning. Escobar had to go up to get that throw from Fuentes, and that was just enough to allow Tucker to score.
Gary Pettis, third base coach for the Houston Astros. He had him going the whole way. He's aggressive coach and was a great base stealer in his playing days, so he understands the running game, and he also knows about all the outfielders' arms. So they took a chance there, and it worked. A better throw by Escobar might have resulted in an out, but Astros staying aggressive. Ooh.
Deep right center field, Jason Castro hits it off the wall. Houston leads 5-0, and Castro will end up at third base. Just his second hit of the year. He was 1 for his first 17.
Young went with a fastball down low, and just a nice easy swing by Castro. Had some elevation on. Lorenzo Cain ran out of room. He knew he couldn't make the catch. Waits for the carom. And Houston's opened up a nice little 5-0 lead.
The Astros have 7 hits, and 4 of the 7 have been extra base hits. Now the Royals are forced to bring the infield in the 4th inning with a runner at third and 1 out, and Jose Altuve at the plate. Altuve on Chris Young's first pitch today, single to left field, then he stole second and scored on a double from Correa, and then Young got him with a strikeout in the 3rd inning. One and one.
Altuve, he's looking up in that zone now. Lots of times when a high fastball pitcher like Chris Young you're facing him, you want to lay off of that pitch, but in this situation with the infield drawn in, he doesn't want to hit it on the ground. But Chris Young at 6'10", and Altuve, what is he, 5'8", 5'7"?
That'll drop in front of Cain. 6 runs for the Astros, a 3-run first and now a 3-run fourth. Castro scores. Altuve has 2 hits, and there's still only 1 out. 5'5" to answer your question.
Wow. Yeah, so you mean there it is. He's looking up in the zone. Chris Young gave it to him. Stayed inside of that ball nicely. That ball, you know, a lot of guys are going to try to pull that, but he's using the large part of the field. He's a smart hitter. Infield in, he knows better. That's the biggest hole in the diamond, right up the middle. Great swing.
5'6".
He's not very tall, but he got plenty of heart. And you know he wants to steal a bag. Another one. Got on with a base hit his first time up, and first pitch he ripped second off.
Springer takes a big rip, just like Carlos Gomez does. No balls, one strike. He has grounded out to Moustakas twice. One. I'd mentioned the 38 stolen bases last year that led the league. He also led the league being thrown out 13 times.
Young, just pay him no mind. Let him take the bag. Worry about that hitter. Don't try to keep hold of him right there. 6-0. Still fairly early in the game.
Ching-Ming Wong begins to loosen up in the Royals bullpen. Altuve started and stopped, and the slider makes it 1 ball and 2 strikes. Fox Tracks brought to you by the Missouri Lottery.
Good spot down low.
Two and two. Houston with 6 runs, and we mentioned in the first inning. It's the first time that the Royals' opponent has scored more than 3 runs in a game. Now Altuve runs, and Springer grounds it out to Escobar. He'll make sure Altuve stays put at second base and throws out Springer, who grounds out for a 3rd time. 2 outs. A reminder, as you enjoy a cold one, to look forward to Miller Time later in tonight's game, brought to you by Miller Lite.
Well, you know, game 6 had excellent starting pitching. Chris Young, has that at times when he's in a ballpark like this can be the victim of home runs because he's a fly ball pitcher.
Carlos Correa, he has 2 hits. Altuve takes off for 3rd. Two stolen bases for Altuve in this game, and 6 on the year. The Astros led the American League last year in stolen bases. 1-1 on Correa.
This is a very talented team. There's no question about it. The Royals know it.
Very balanced team for A.J. Hinch. went around. 1 ball and 2 strikes. They are not one-dimensional at all. Their American League rankings: 2nd in home runs, 1st in stolen bases, 1st in ERA, and 2nd in defensive runs saved.
Impressive.
Lifted to right center field. Kane and Fuentes, and it's Fuentes to make the play and end the inning. The Astros have their second 3-run inning, and at the end of 4, Houston leads 6-0. With a 3-run first inning, a 3-run fourth inning, and they've done that without one of the most dangerous hitters. As we look at our University of Kansas hospital injury report, Evan Gattis had sports hernia surgery during the offseason, so started this year on the disabled list and now on a rehab assignment. 27 home runs for Evan Gattis last year, and he drove in 88.
Yeah, he's out there playing right now. And I was talking to member of the Astros coaching staff, and I said, how far away is he? Is he 4 days away? And they said, nah, he probably won't come out till next week. And I said, good. We don't need to see him. He's a beast. Big old right-handed hitter.
Omar Infante fouls it away. He went down looking at a curveball in the 3rd inning. Colin McHugh has struck out 3 in his first 4 innings. Royals have 4 hits in their first 4 innings. Right to Correa. 1 out.
Now the Royals got to get a few guys on, make something happen. Of course, you don't have to tell the Houston Astros what comeback ability the Royals have. They were sitting pretty. Their fans were going crazy. I asked Alex Gordon before the game, Alex, what was more impressive, the comeback in game 4 or the wild card game against Oakland in 14? He said last year's comeback was a lot better because it was right here in their house, and they had all their fans are breathing down our neck telling us you're going home and all that stuff.
And players in the Astros dugout doing the slitting the neck sign.
Yeah. He said by far it was better, even though the game at the K, you know, it started a run, a historical run, 8 straight postseason wins.
Fuentes singled his first time up. The governor tweeted a congratulatory.
The Texas governor.
Yep, Texas governor putting out a tweet congratulating the Astros and calling out the Rangers for them to beat the Blue Jays so there could be an all Texas ALCS.
Yeah, no, he congratulated both teams, thinking that they were going to do it, they were going to go, and man, he got in trouble. They got him on that one, because both teams got eliminated the same day.
Not around the same time.
Yeah. Love Fuentes is at bats. The way he looks up there, he looks confident. This guy, he's going to make a big difference. And then, of course, when Gerard Dyson comes, and they'll have to make a decision on what they're going to do. But I like it. I think the kid's got a nice future ahead of him, especially when you let him in that lineup and he can be relaxed.
Escobar has flied to center and flied out to right field.
Q's got to be thrilled with the run support. He can go out now and just execute his pitches here in the middle of this ball game and not worry about getting scored off of a run or two here or there.
And speaking of run support, Colin McHugh, not that he needed this much help, winning 19 games. He had the 4th best run support in the American League, so he was pitching well. And when he was in games last year, the offense was scoring almost 6 runs, and that's what they've done here tonight. 5.79 on average for McHugh. Runs of support last season. Escobar hit it off the knuckles foul, and it's still 0-2.
"16 home starts, 12-3. He could pitch here. And you know, after that 1/3 of an inning he pitched in New York, couldn't wait to get the ball here tonight, opening night, for the Astros at their house.
Curveball hit into center field. That's down. Fuentes holds, and the Royals have 2 on with 1 out. And to chip away at the 6-0 deficit.
Escobar's able to chip the curve in there. Stayed with it nicely. That was a good pitch by McHugh. Better piece of hit. Shortened up his swing. Dropped it out there. That's exactly what the Royals want to do. A couple bloops and a blast. Get him right back in it. Now the infield shifting over on Moose. There's only one defender on the left side, and that tells Moose after the previous 2 times up they were trying to pitch him hard in, fastballs in. He's looking in there, I guarantee it.
Breaking ball, strike 1.
Good curveball, starts up shoulder height, ends up being a strike. He wants the fastball.
One. A little more elevation for McHugh's secondary pitches in this inning. Curveball not quite getting down like it was. That slider was up and out of the strike zone, but it was up. Hit well to first. White to second one. Throw back to first with McHugh covering. 3-6-1 double play to end the top of the 5th inning. And it started with a 3-run first inning. Colby Rasmus hit a 2-run home run. Yellowwood is bringing the lumber.
He Tommy hopped that high fastball in the upper deck.
Rasmus also has a bunt single. He was overshifted on them in his second at bat, and he just dropped down a bunt to the third base side.
Sure did. I don't think with a 6-0 lead he'll be doing that here, but that was a good time to do it. He dropped it down. Whenever Rasmus came up in the postseason last year, man, I was holding my breath because he was hot. Anything in the zone, he was hitting. Right at the right time, he got hot.
Chris Young strikes him out. That's 4 for Young.
Beauty.
And now Tyler White, who has flied out to deep center and grounded into a force out. 10 for 20 for Tyler White. The Astros are not only good at the major league level, they have a lot of prospects on their way up, and one they've been excited about for a while, a first baseman named John Singleton. The Astros decided not to bring Chris Carter back. Big home run, big strikeout guy. He's now with the Brewers, so they figured this was the time for Singleton to finally take over at first base. Well, Tyler White simply beat him out in spring training.
Singleton.
11 for 21. Tyler White is on with 1 out.
And Singleton is 23 years old. He's got plenty of time. He waited on this slider here. Went down and got it. Tell you what, you come off of that first week. On top of the mountain like that, raking. You know what the other side's like. You just want to keep it going as long as you can, because first time around the league, he might can do some things, but the second time around the league, they'll make some adjustments on him. They'll figure him out.
We just talked about that yesterday. The league will catch up with you in a hurry.
Believe it.
Carlos Gomez is grounded to third, and he is struck out. This will be the 90th pitch thrown by Chris Young, and Chin Ming Wong is warming up behind him again in the left field bullpen. High slider for a strike, 1-1. The end of the bat, and Alex makes the play on the track. Speaking of bat flips, and we were talking about this when he came up in the 4th inning, that he comes up often when you're talking about bat flips. That is a darn it bat flip. That's not a I got it. I just missed it bat flip.
Yeah, he knew it hit off the end of his bat. Hitters will know before anybody.
There was a time, and maybe that time still exists, where even a bat flip like that would upset a pitcher, because the pitcher's reaction is, oh, you think you should have done more with that pitch?
Yep.
Or you think you should have took me deep?
I think we're past those days now.
Preston Tucker blocked by Salvador Perez. 1 ball, 1 strike. Pitchers used to hate it when a batter would pop up or fly out, and they just might yell at themselves going up the line. Yeah. You know, you'd see a pitcher walk off the mound and say, "What are you yelling at?"
That's because you if you come up the next inning, he'd drill you, and there was no repercussions for that. So you know the players could police their own game. That's been taken away. Nothing ever stays the same. Baseball changing all the time. The rule changes, which is rare in baseball. But I used to like the way that the players would police their own game. You know, they had long memories. If something happened to one of their teammates, or you showed somebody up, they would remember that the next year. Sometimes the next spring they would retaliate. It's not like that much anymore. However, there is still some of that in the game.
I remember a few years ago there was a particular hitter in the American League who was not afraid to show up a pitcher when he hits a home run, and he did, and the Royals pitcher didn't see it because he was watching the ball, but he saw it in the video room the next day, and the next year that particular hitter got a fastball right between his numbers on his back.
Yeah. Heck, I remember in the National League with 2 strikes on you, I was on my heels because they're coming in on you. They're going to knock you off the plate, and they didn't care about the pitch count then. The pitch count was nothing back then. So they didn't care if they wasted a pitch, but they're not going to let you get comfortable 0-2. And I was always on my heels going, okay, am I going to wear this one? Or, you know, so you knew that as a hitter. But nowadays with the pitch count, 0-2, pitchers are trying to get that strikeout. They're going to throw a strike. It's not like that. There's no more wasted pitches. The game is popular. It's thriving.
And I think that's why a lot of the rules changes to protect the players. It's not that the players are softer or anything like that. It's trying to keep the players in the game during this time of popularity. Tucker just got a piece of it. So White will go back to first base.
Yeah, so the Royals are going with a little triangle defense right here.
Never fair, and into the upper deck on the right field side. Houston got 3 in the first inning. Correa drove in a run with a double. Rasmus hit a 2-run home run. And then 3 more in the fourth. Valbuena, Castro, and Altuve drove in the runs. Tucker walks. That's over 100 pitches for Chris Young. 2 on, 2 out, and Ned Yost is out of the Royals dugout. And that's Chris Young's second walk and the last batter that he will face. So a tough night. Ned Yost takes the ball from him, and Chin-Ming Wong is a Chevy call to the bullpen. Houston leads 6-0 with runners at first and second, 2 down in the 5th.
Chris Young finding a little bit too much of the middle of the plate tonight. And you don't have to tell him that. He knows. He's a veteran. All the damage was done on his fastball tonight. Just didn't have the kind of command that he wanted with his fastball. See, that wasn't not bad. That was a good piece of hitting there. But that ball to the opposite field, Rasmus's homer. Let's see where these pitches are. It's kind of right down the middle of the plate. Most of them fastballs.
Goes Chin-Ming Wong. Makes Valbuena move his feet. Valbuena has driven in one of the 6 runs with a double in the 4th inning and a run scored. Wong made his Royals debut on Saturday against Minnesota. It was his first major league appearance in 3 years.
You know, easy guy to talk to. I was talking to him today before the game about his appearance at Kauffman Stadium, and I said, "What do you remember?" He goes, "I remember the crowd, how great they were." He goes, "That was so fun to get back on a big league mound, and it's going to be a lot of fun this summer pitching, especially at home." Understands English very well, speaks it just fine.
You know, it's interesting when Dayton Moore joined us in the booth during a spring training game, and we were discussing Chin-Ming Wong, and you know, he brought something up I never considered. As good as the Royals bullpen has been, there really hasn't been a true sinker guy out there that Ned Yost can point to and bring in when you need a ground ball. I mean, all the guys in the bullpen will get you a strikeout, but not a guy that's a ground ball specialist. That sinker at the knees over the outside corner finishes off the Astros in the 5th inning. So they strand 2. Valbuena argues with Adrian Johnson. Beautiful night in Houston, and especially for Astros fans. Royals baseball is brought to you by Ram. Guts, glory, Ram. And by T-Mobile. Get major league coverage. T-Mobile has doubled its 4G LTE since 2015. Nice night outside and some cloud cover, some rain, so the roof is closed. 6-0 Astros as the Royals come up in the 6th inning, and Lorenzo Cain hits it right on the nose, but right to Gomez in center field. 1 down, and Lorenzo is 0 for 3. This is our Sonic Slam inning. Our contestant is Carl St. James from Independence, Missouri. If the Royals hit a home run in this inning, it would be 3 straight days we've had a Sonic Slam winner. Carl wins $100. If the Royals hit a grand slam, Carl wins $25,000 from Sonic and the Kansas City Royals. Curveball strike from McHugh to Eric Hosmer. The Royals have 5 hits in their first 5 innings. Hosmer has 1 of them with a single to right in the 4th inning. He is 1 for 2.
Can the Royals make it 3 straight nights with the money inning?
I have no idea what the record is in the consecutive games we've had a home run in the Sonic Slam inning. Cutter is high, 2 balls and 1 strike. I want to say Lorenzo Cain had the last Sonic Slam.
It's big.
Yep, and presented the check to the fan on the field before the game after that. 2-2 on Hosmer. Base hit left field. Going the other way with 2 strikes. Hosmer's 2 for 3. You know, he does enough of that where I wouldn't be surprised to see some shifts change against him. A lot of teams leave that left side wide open.
Yeah, and he's an excellent opposite field hitter, but what I liked about that swing was his head position. His head stayed still. He's able to lift that front leg up and set it back down, but with no head movement, the ball's not moving. That's the key to being a good hitter. Try to keep your head still. Beautiful swing.
Now Kendrys Morales, and he takes a cutter upstairs.
Check a look at, watch his head. Okay, he's going to load. That's called loading up your hips, young players. You got to get some power going. You got to load the hips. Look at the head right there. It stays on it. Lets the ball travel deep. You hear that saying a lot. Let it get deep. Let it get deep. Get in the stands.
Rasmus in the corner. He was out of our view, but he made the play.
Barlow's the right idea. He knew exactly where he was. Morales is trying to talk that ball, and if he can't get to that, that would land it fair.
Two down to Alex Gordon. He's 2 for 2. Alex started the year 2 for 16, and now he has hits in his last 3 at bats. Astros overshift to the right against Alex. Good fastball over the inside. Stays put. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
So how many young people in Texas are named Ryan? I'm going to say a lot. After that man right there, Nolan Ryan, one of the game's greatest pitchers of all time. His son, Reed Ryan, is the president of business operations for the Astros. And Nolan is watching in one of the best seats in the house.
Called on a curveball, and you don't see Alex talk much to a home plate umpire after being called out on strikes, as he talks things over with Adrian Johnson. And now 4 strikeouts in 6 scoreless innings for Colin McHugh. But in typical Chris Young fashion, he is not in the clubhouse. He is still in the dugout supporting his teammates.
Love that.
Our Sprint trivia question for tonight. Who are the last 3 shortstops to win the American League Rookie of the Year award? There's one. So Carlos Correa and the 2 before him. The last 3 shortstops to win the American League Rookie of the Year. Jason Castro leads off. 1 for 2 with a triple, an RBI and a run scored. In between innings, Steve Physiak came running over here from the Royals radio booth and reminded us of an injury that Chien-Ming Wang suffered here in Houston back in 2008. Castro lines it to right, and Fuentes on the sinking line drive makes the play. 1 down. You've heard, I'm sure, of all the injuries that Chien-Ming Wang had. Well, Dave Island saw it happen. Dave Island was pitching coach for the Yankees. Chien-Ming Wang, remember, he won 19 games in 2006. He won 19 more in 2007. He was 8-2 in 2008, and he injured his right foot running the bases here when the Astros were in the National League. It was an interleague game. So he got on base, ran the bases, went on the disabled list, and if I recall, I think George Steinbrenner just was furious about the difference in the rules, and my pitcher shouldn't be running. I just lost my best pitcher because, you know, we have to play the National League rules, and then there, for a while there, you know, because of that, there was the debate about whether they should have the same rules or not. Well, it wasn't just that he injured his foot, but he came back for the disabled list, and to compensate for the foot, he changed his mechanics, changed his stride, which put more stress on his shoulder, and ended up having to have shoulder surgery not long after that.
Yeah, that happens. It happens to a lot of pitchers that injure one side of their body. Maybe it's on their lower half, their leg. They pull a hammy or something, and then they want to stay in there. They come back, and it messes up their mechanics and their delivery. Too bad.
That is a 3-hit game for Jose Altuve. He's on with 1 out. Let's go down to Joel.
Well, I also had a chance to talk to Chien-Ming Wang today and was talking to him about the press corps that's following him, because he is the only member of the Royals that has a group of media specifically dedicated to him. He said about 10 to 12 members of the media that follow his every move. I said, well, what do they do on a day where he's not pitching? He said they still want a story, so they come up to him every day and they talk to him. You know, from my vantage point by the Royals dugout, I could not see that he was warming up, but I knew that he was, because one of the members of the media was shooting towards the bullpen every single movement over there, and that's what's going on right now. When he goes into the dugout, the camera's taking shot after shot or shot of him sitting there on the mound. Every shot as he's in his delivery right now, and in some ways I guess it makes sense. He's one of 13 ever players born in Taiwan that play in the major leagues, one of 2 active right now, along with Wei-Yin Chen, and Chien-Ming Wang has the most wins of any major leaguer in history born in Taiwan.
And there's a reason why they're taking all those pictures of Chien-Ming Wang. I read a story that when he was pitching for the Yankees, and especially when he was pitching well for the Yankees, first the pitch to Springer, the main newspaper in his city would sell 300,000 more copies the day after he pitched.
Wow. That's selling newspapers. You know, think about it. A small little island like that, you know, they don't have a whole lot of guys, but let alone pitching for the New York Yankees. You know, I mean, that's big news.
And he really hasn't been a big-time pitcher since 2007 when he won 19 games for a second consecutive year. But I hear that his face is still on billboards in Taiwan. Finished second for the American League Cy Young in 2006. Came right back the next year and won 19 games. So had the most wins in the major leagues in those 2 years. Up the middle for Escobar's glove. Altuve will make the turn. George Springer has his first hit. The Astros have 11 hits in 5+ innings and runners at first and third with 1 out.
He's a sinker baller pitcher, you know, and he'll throw 90% sinkers. And sometimes when you throw that sinker, they're going to find holes.
Yeah, that's what, a couple of feet away from being a double play,
right? Another interesting conversation I had with him today was, when you go back home to Taiwan, are there 100 photographers waiting to take your picture when you get off the airplane? And he said, yeah. I said, well, how do they know you're coming? He says, they get a list of names that, you know, they know who comes into the country, and whenever they see me or Wei Yin Chin, they always have a huge media waiting for them.
Carlos Correa has 2 hits, a run scored, and an RBI. Well, you know what that's like. You had the same thing when you went to Japan, didn't you?
Yeah, and I couldn't believe it.
They all waiting for you?
Oh, it was a joke. I'm thinking, my wife and I are going down the escalator, and here's 100 photographers taking my picture. And I looked at my wife and I said, "Uh-oh, what happened? What happened?" They're going, they must think you're a star. And I went, I laughed. I said, really? It was cool. I felt like a rock star.
And you were easy to find, right?
Man.
The only red-haired guy in the airport, right?
Exactly. And then as I walked down the streets of Tokyo with my sunglasses on, they thought I was Arnold Schwarzenegger. the Japanese people did, and I would.
The only difference was you did not come back.
Yeah, and I don't have his bank account.
There was no "I'll be back" in Japan.
No,
Rex Hudler.
It'd be interesting. I'd walk by him, and I would hear the Japanese people walk by, and I'd hear him say, "Schwarzenegger." Yeah,
really?
Yeah. As I walked by him, they would think, and I had fun with the people. It was a blast. I loved them. They're great fans in the Far East. He has a home in Orlando, Florida. And I asked him, well, where eventually are you going to live? And he said, Taiwan. I'll go back there.
What animal did you eat in Japan?
Oh,
was that the June bug or the worm story?
That was the earthworm.
The earthworm. But how much money did you get for it?
Almost $2,000 American.
That will be foul. Still 2-2.
And it was just a motivating thing for my teammates. It was a rain-out day. We were out in the field, and we were running pole to poles, and my teammate Jack Howe brought this earthworm on an artificial turf field. And he picked it up and he holds it up to our teammates. We're all resting, and he says, "How much? How much you guys pay? Rex will eat the worm." And they said, "What?" They were like thinking, and I was thinking, "Jack, what are you thinking, man? I'm not going to eat that." So Japanese players were talking amongst each other.
Base hit right field. That gives the Astros a 7-0 lead. Fuentes, good throw to third base, and he guns down Springer. Carlos Correa moves into second base. Correa has 3 hits. He's driven in his second. And the Astros are piling up a big lead, but we got a little glimpse of Ray Fuentes' arm and right.
How about that? Typically, with this game 7-0, you want to just hit the cutoff man, but you know, he said, I can get this guy, and he did. Short hop, great pick by Moose, and awfully close over there at third base, but Fuentes showing some skills with his arm. Good tag by Moose.
So Jack Howell held the earthworm out and asked the Japanese players
how much, and so they were talking amongst each other, and I wasn't going to eat it. I'm thinking, what's he doing? And then he said, Hud, 20,000 yen or whatever that is. And I was like, well, how much is that? He goes, that's a couple grand. And I opened my mouth and I walked over there and he dropped it in my mouth. And I'm thinking, like I did when I ate that June bug, what's this going to taste like? And I chewed it up and I dropped on the ground and I started doing push-ups, looking at my guys, man, and they were cracking up. I mean, they lost it. And that's what I did it for, just fun.
And then you went on to win the Japanese series.
We did. The first time in 25 years, the Swallows won the World Series.
No pun intended.
It was the Yakuto Swallows. And so that was just for my teammates. There's no media there. It was a washout rainout day. And media's not allowed in the clubhouse. So I get my shower and I walk outside to get on my bike and ride it home. And there's 200 photographers taking my picture, and I'm going, uh-oh, what happened? And I figured, oh no, somebody told them. Why would they do that? Why would somebody tell the media that I did that? It was just for my team. So, being the ham I am, I had a toothpick in my pocket. I pulled the toothpick out and I started picking my teeth. And I went, oishi.
Which means delicious in Japanese.
Right.
And we just showed Trey Hillman, by the way, who was a manager in Japan before coming to the Royals.
And the next day, in 7 major newspapers in Tokyo, they had a picture of me on there with the toothpick, picking my teeth, and a picture of drawn earthworm on the newspaper. And I asked my Japanese teammates, what do they say? What's the headline say? And the headline said, "Crazy American eats worm."
Oh boy. That's a strikeout. Rasmus played umpire and didn't run right away, and that helped Salvador Perez throw out Rasmus and put an end to the story of HUD eating a worm in Japan.
That's all they remember me for now.
Good night for the Astros in their home opener. 7 runs, 12 hits in the first 6 innings. So that's what's going on here in Houston. Speaking of home openers, let's go to Target Field in Minneapolis, a Mazda game break. That's Brett Lawrie driving in the White Sox first run in the 2nd inning, driving in Todd Frazier. So 2 new guys against Kyle Gibson, the former MU Tiger. And the Minnesota Twins are now 0-7, and this is a statistic that they will try and ignore as best they can. No team starting 0-7 has ever reached the postseason. Strike to Salvador Perez. He is fouled out to first and flied to center. To Valbuena, and the throw to first is in time.
Hey, Comic-Con fans, join us at the ballpark for the first Planet Comic-Con. Kansas City Day on April 24th versus the Orioles. Your theme ticket comes with a Planet Comic-Con themed Royal shirt and game ticket. Cosplay is also encouraged, so come dressed in the costume of your favorite character. You can purchase tickets now at royals.com/tickets. Cosplay is encouraged, please. Falling there.
And it does. Base hit Omar Infante. He is 1 for 3. Seven hits for the Royals against Colin McHugh. Only one has been for extra bases. Ray Fuentes has had a nice night. He singled in the 3rd inning. He walked in the 5th, and he's thrown out a runner at 3rd base. And another base hit. And in a 7-run game, Infante will stop at 2nd base, so Fuentes is on for the 3rd time.
Yeah, 2 knocks and a walk. That'll get it done. Get that average up early. Nice piece of hit there early, aggressive, looking for a pitch inside it. He got it. For a young player, he does not look rattled. He reminds me a little bit of Colon. When Colon got up here, Colon never looked like he was intimidated, nervous, or anything. Calm and controlling his emotions and not swinging at everything he sees.
Slow roller to Correa. Safe. And I guess he figured that was his best option for an out. So Escobar is on, and now the bases are loaded with 1 out. And if the Royals are going to get back in this game, now is the time.
Right. So that hustle right there and that speed, and Fuentes being unknown by the Astros, is why Correa went to go to 2nd base. They won't do that again, because now they know that this guy can run, and have been better off trying to get the out at 1st base. That's just really good hustle and good jump and good awareness there. That's how you get your teammate a hit, and also keep you alive here. Load it up for Moose. 1 Moose bomb and get him back in it.
Slow breaking ball for a strike. I think they're just going to rule that reaching on a fielder's choice for Alcides Escobar, so no base hit. Moustakas is 0 for 3. His last time up, he grounded into an inning double play, which is exactly what he wants to avoid here.
So McHugh, knowing the situation here, giving Moose a couple of soft tossing curveballs early. He doesn't want to give him a fastball in the middle here, or inside anyway. We'll see. Oh, darn it.
Correa brings it down. They had called the infield fly rule.
Just underneath it. A slider.
So the bases are loaded. 2 down to Lorenzo Cain. 0 for 3, but in his last at bat he lined out to center field. And now McHugh is coming up on 100 pitches, so they begin to work in the Astros bullpen. Ball squibbed off the end of the bat. Astros probably spent a little extra time on the scouting report for Lorenzo Cain, who showed you that in the last 2 years he's hit over 400 against Houston, and in his career just under 380. gets away. Infante made a move, but certainly don't want to make the last out at home plate, down by 7.
Nope, and Lorenzo Cain did not want that pitch. He was guessing fastball all the way here.
$43,332, most of them standing and pounding their thunder sticks together for extra noise. Lorenzo lays off that breaking ball. Hud, I thought that was very good pitching to Cain. First curveball was maybe hittable, but it was down, so McHugh said, well, if he's going to chase that one, I'm going to go even lower.
That's exactly what they do. And so that's 3 in a row. And again, bases loaded. He's being real careful with the fastball.
Slider hit in the air to right field. And the Royals leave the bases loaded. So they've had some chances. And the Royals have stranded 9 in 7 innings. Royals baseball is brought to you by your local Kansas City area Chevy dealers. Visit for great prices on the all-new 2016 Malibu. By Panera Bread, food as it should be, with 24 Kansas City metro locations. And by Academy Sports and Outdoors, right stuff, low price every day. Tough night for the Royals so far in Houston after a very exciting finish yesterday afternoon at Kauffman Stadium. Christian Colon walked. Terrence Gore ran for him. Trevor May's throwing error got him to third with nobody out. And then the wild pitch by May with 2 down. And Terrence Gore, who hesitated at first, but just seemed to pick up speed as he came down the line. The play was not close, and the Royals sweep Minnesota to improve to 4-1, and now down 7-0 in the bottom of the 7th inning. Ned Yost brings on Drew Butera to give Salvador Perez some time off, and Paulo Orlando in center field for Lorenzo Cain. Shin-Ming Wong got the last out of the 5th inning, and then allowed a run in the 6th. He'll pitch to Tyler White, Carlos Gomez, and Preston Tucker in the home half of the 7th.
There's a rare breaking ball from Shin-Ming.
Fair ball. Tyler White is going to dig for 2 on Alex Gordon, and the throw is off the bag. So Tyler White, who is the American League Player of the Week, he went 10 for 18, and now in his first home game in Houston is 2 for 4.
He's white hot. Shin-Ming Wong will get hit if that sinker's not down, and that's above the belt there. Hitters will let you know when your sinker's not sinking.
Good for him.
It's awesome. I love it. That's a good story.
If you weren't with us earlier in the game, Tyler White didn't even get a college scholarship. He was a walk-on at Western Carolina University. That's the same college that Greg Holland was drafted from by the Royals. 33rd round pick by the Astros. And going up against one of their top prospects, John Singleton, a first baseman in spring training, and White simply beat him out. An Astros record, 9 hits in his first 4 games, and tied an Astros record with 7 RBIs in his first 4 games. And now 2 for 4 today.
There were 996 players chosen before him, and you wonder how many of those are in the big leagues today. Not many.
Orlando and Fuentes look out. Fuentes makes the play, racing in from right field. So Gomez is 0 for 4, and there's 1 out in the bottom of the 7th inning. And now Fuentes and Orlando talk it over. That's a problem that could come up from time to time. You got 2 guys who probably haven't played together a whole lot, playing in a ballpark where they haven't played.
No, I got a little nervous when that ball was hit and seeing these guys converge like that, because they're both aggressive and they both want the ball, and glad that worked out fine.
And those 2 guys are competing with one another for playing time in right field.
That's right.
Big rip by Preston Tucker. Tucker has walked twice and scored a run. Oh, 2. Let's go to Joel.
Well, I had a chance to visit just a second ago with one of the photographers down here. I said, how many pictures have you taken tonight of Shin-Ming Wong? And he said, oh, easily over 500. He said it's a huge deal back home. He is the biggest deal. He said much bigger than Wei-Yin Chen from many years ago, just because he was a Yankee and he got so much exposure when he was a Yankee, Shin-Ming Wong. He said everybody is absolutely interested. They will be watching right now. He said it's about 10:40 in the morning tomorrow back in Taiwan, and so they can't get enough of Shin-Ming Wong, which means I suppose there'll now be a lot of Royals fans over there.
Yeah, love it.
We got Royals fans all over Brazil, and now we have Royals fans all over Taiwan.
Why not? Great story. So he's very humble, because I asked him, I said, are you the rock star, the lone guy that's the big leaguer from there? And he goes, no. I said, really? Who else? He said, Wei-Yin Chen. I said, oh. So he put Wei-Yin Chen ahead of him himself. Humble guy.
1-1 on Valbuena. And there's also, you know, something to be said about the first star from a country, right? I mean,
yeah,
there've been some really good Japanese players who have come along, but there's something about, you know, Hideo Nomo and Ichiro Suzuki, because they were, you know, Nomo was the first really good pitcher and Ichiro Suzuki was a really good position player. So that probably has something to do with Wong's lasting popularity.
Yep.
Fuentes drifting back, and he makes a play.
Morales now. Back up the middle. Off Correa on into center field. Kansas City has tied it in the 8th.
An inning we will never forget, and as fate would have it, it is the 8th inning. Tony Sipp is pitching, and Kendrys Morales is coming up. Instead of a 4-run deficit, it's a 7-run deficit, but it was Tony Sipp on the mound when Kendrys Morales hit that ground ball, which Carlos Correa will tell you, and any major league shortstop will tell you, in a situation like that, he has to make the play. But that ball hit the mound and I think created a spin, an overspin, that Correa was not prepared for, because that ball just jumped on him and went right off the tip of his glove.
Yeah, I believe it went off of Sipp's glove, and that misdirected the spin on the ball. And then when the next hop, it bounced, and it, like you said, let's see what happens here.
Yep, off the glove, then the mound, and then.
Oh no.
I mean, he was thinking double play. Eric Hosmer's had a good night. He has 3 hits. Hosmer, by the way, had been 0 for his last 14 when he hit that big triple yesterday afternoon. And now he is 4 for his last 5, and he's on to begin the 8th inning. And here, watch. I think that just came up more than he thought it was going to. Again, big league shortstop needs to make that play in a situation like that, and that could have been, and here's Morales and Sipp again, that could have been an inning-ending double play, and the Royals deficit would have been 2. But that play tied the game, and it was Matt Vasgersian making the call on the Fox network that you heard, and we were all just stunned. I mean, the Royals were putting a comeback together, and there you go, ground ball, okay, inning over, but hey, the deficit has been cut in half, and then all of a sudden, oh my gosh, the ball's gone into center field, 2 runs scored. The Royals added another run for a 1-run lead, and then Hosmer hit the 2-run home run in the 9th. Speaking of Correa, he was the subject of our Sprint trivia question. Who are the last 3 shortstops to win the American League Rookie of the Year? I'm going to say Carlos Correa, Bobby Crosby, and Angel Baroa.
Wow.
I don't know if that's right or not.
I was going to say Omar Vizquel, but that's been a while ago. Look at you.
Crosby was the tough one.
Good
a
call.
lot of Royals fans guessed Angel Baroa.
Way to go. Well, Joel Goldberg and I were at the Power and Light District.
Shocker.
And when that ball bounced over his glove, the place went up for grabs, as there were several thousand people watching along with us, and it was unbelievable. It brought back memories of the wild card. The ground was shaking. People could feel it.
And that and the wild card game were similar. It was a 4-run deficit going into the 8th inning. The season felt like it was lost. I remember on radio, Tom Hamilton, the radio voice of the Indians, told me, I think the Royals' last home regular series was against Cleveland, and Tom Hamilton, who lived through a great dynasty in Cleveland, Tom Hamilton said to me, and I'll never forget, he said, good luck in the playoffs, and remember, no matter what happens in the playoffs, the Royals had a great year. They gave their fans 6 months of good baseball by winning the division. Kendrys Morales. Don't have to worry about Carlos Correa here. That's up in the signs. And the Royals are on the board in the 8th inning. It is 7-2 with nobody out.
It's the 8th inning. Give the Royals fans that are here at Minute Maid a little something to cheer about. That ball was crushed.
A Ram drive of the game.
Oh, man.
And now Alex Gordon, just to finish the story. So I thought that was a good point from Tom Hamilton. You know, in some ways, in many ways, it's harder to win the division than it is to get to the playoffs, because in the division you have to be better than 4 teams over the course of 6 months. So the 8th inning begins, and Denny was not in Houston, so I did the 8th inning on radio, and I could hear Tom Hamilton's voice. So we go to the 8th inning, down by 4, and I mean, anyone other than maybe the guys in the dugout was preparing for the season to be over.
Right.
And so I'm thinking to myself, okay, what were all the positives that we need to remember from this season? And so, you know, positive number 1, base hit left field, Alex Rios. All right, another positive, base hit center field, Alcides Escobar. And I mean, it was just trying to find a graceful way to bring the curtain down on the 2015 season. And I don't think I had a chance to finish my thought, because all of a sudden, wait a minute, we've got something here.
Wow.
And then, of course, the Morales thing changed everything, the Morales ground ball.
Well, Morales, that last at bat, did what he wanted to do in the playoffs. So he went ahead and took care of the runs himself tonight.
Sip comes back and strikes out Alex Gordon on a 3-2 fastball. 1 away. Vote for the Royals Player of the Month at one of the 7 Rally House locations in the KC metro area. All participants will be entered to win a majestic prize pack. And now Drew Butera. He came on defensively for Salvador Perez. in the bottom of the 7th inning. Drew Butera was part of that comeback in the 8th inning. He had a big walk.
How about that?
In game 4 here.
Never have a bigger one. Bigger walk in his life. It's a beauty. Kept the line moving. Sip, nice little slider. His fastball is 88 to 93. And we'll throw some changeups to right-handed batters.
Little tap. Valbuena, bare hands. Nice play. Dave Holtzman reminded me that it was a 10-pitch walk for Butera in that 4-run 8th inning, right before Alex Gordon put the Royals ahead. The Royals want you to follow the team on the road. How about going to Philadelphia, Boston, or New York City this summer? Royals destination fan packages are available now and include great game tickets, hotel accommodations, VIP ballpark tours, and a meet and greet reception with the Royals player. If that sounds interesting to you, visit Royals.com/destinations or 877-698-8695 for more information. Infante is 1 for 3 tonight. Oh, and 2. Shallow right center field, and it's Springer coming up to make the play. So the Royals avoid the shutout as Kendrys Morales rips his 2nd home run of the year, driving in Eric Hosmer. (7-2) Astros to the bottom of the 8th inning. And as we promised earlier in the game, it's Miller time, brought to you by Miller Lite.
That's right. Why not show off Ray flinches his arm. That's a beauty. Look at that short hop pick. Moose with the assist, but nice throw. He says, you know what? I'm going to get him. That's Springer. Got to go. Good throw.
And at the plate, Fuentes is 2 for 2 with a walk. Danny Duffy is on for the bottom of the 8th inning. Duffy is a Chevy call to the bullpen as he appears for the 3rd time this year. And he'll get a left-hand batter in Jason Castro and throws a fastball right by him at 96 miles an hour.
Plenty of arm there. Mix in a little slider and a changeup at times. Tell you what, the LED lighting, even though it's probably going to cause some issues with outfielders, maybe even some infielders this year, certainly has lit up the field a lot differently here at Minute Maid. I mean, just look at how bright those things are. Okay, look at, imagine trying to pick up a baseball if you're Alex Gordon out there and left. And I talked with Alex before the game about it, and he goes, I had a hard time at the K this last game. You know, in that last series, a couple of balls that were hit, you know, in that bank of lights, and even though the Royals don't have LED lighting, I heard they're thinking about getting it. That's tough right there. That's bright. That's like having 10 suns up there. But the field is.
There's Alex. Dealt with the lights just fine there as he gets Castro. Joel?
Well, I talked to a bunch of folks about this, and there are about 5 or 6 teams now that have them. Last year, the only team was the Seattle Mariners. They're more energy efficient, and they're brighter. They come on really quick, and they can turn them on and off really quickly. You don't have to wait for anything. You could dim them. And it was almost a little too bright, they thought, for their games against Cleveland, their exhibition games. So might have dimmed it a little bit. But talking to some people, too, they said that right field has always been difficult here because the bank of lights opposite the right fielder are low. And so they might need to move some of these lights around a little bit. It's still going to be a work in progress.
Yep, been talking with Reed Ryan, the president of business operations, about them. He said they're turned down as low as they possibly can be turned down. And he said they're major league standard. It's 70 to 75 power. I didn't know what that meant. But he said that that's major league regulation. And I'll tell you what, hitters love it. The brighter the better at nighttime.
The field looks like the roof is open and it's a day game.
It does.
I think we need some LED lights in our next stop on this road trip.
Ooh, yeah.
In Oakland?
That? Yep, that would be good at that ballpark.
Texas, another ballpark where the lights are just so high, it doesn't matter how many lights you have, it just takes a lot to light the field. Three and one on Altuve, who's had a big night. 3 hits, 2 runs scored, 2 stolen bases, and an RBI. And now he's on for a 4th time tonight. Remember, Royals fans, you can bring home your piece of history. World Series replica fan rings, pendants, cufflinks, and more. You can get crowned today by going online to Royals.com/fan-rings to own a piece of this one-of-a-kind collection.
Why not make the investment? I know there's a lot of Royals fans that are expecting another one, but it just doesn't happen that easily.
Good pitches. Down toward the outside part of the plate. Duffy's ahead 0-2 on Springer. Pitch got away from him. 96 on the radar gun. Already thrown 11 pitches at 95 or faster.
He's strong. Strong tonight. Letting her fly.
That's lined up the line. Fuentes dives, and it's by him. Altuve will score easily. 2 balls end up on the field. The one that Fuentes threw to Infante, and then a fan threw the ball in the field, and both of them arrived about the same time. Springer has a triple, and the Astros lead is 8-2.
Fuentes goes to the wall and picks it up, and there's 1 ball, and there's the other already out on the field.
Royals bring the infield in for Carlos Correa. He's had a big night. 3 hits, 2 RBIs. Hard slider is inside. Two and 0. So the Astros have scored 3 in the first inning, 3 in the 4th inning, 1 in the 6th, and 1 in the 8th. On the ground to Escobar. Springer holds. 2 down. Remember, if you can't watch the games on TV, you can now stream games live on your mobile device. Just go to the App Store and download the free Fox Sports Go app. Log in and stream the Royals wherever you go. Jake Marisnick is going to get an at-bat and bat for Colby Rasmus. Duffy throws a fastball for a strike. Rasmus hit a 2-run home run in the bottom of the first, setting the tone. Also had a bunt single and finished the night 2 for 4. That was a swing, and Marisnick is down 0-2.
86 hard slider. That's a great off-speed pitch. 96 to 86 with that kind of movement on it. That'll lock a hitter up, especially when he's looking fastball.
And a fastball by him at 96. The Astros get a run, and the Royals are down by 6 as they come up in the 9th inning. Chris Medlin will make his season debut tomorrow as the Royals continue this 4-game series with the Astros. Same time tomorrow night. Medlin getting his first action last year after a second Tommy John surgery. Royals used him both as a starting pitcher and out of the bullpen. He is the Royals' 5th starter and will go up against Mike Fiers. Fiers was a 7-game winner last year. He also threw a no-hitter shortly after coming to the Astros in a trade, and Medlin was 6-2 for KC.
He's a road warrior. Check it out. Like it. Hope he brings his game tomorrow.
Josh Fields is the new Astros pitcher, and Jake Marisnick, who batted for Rasmus in the bottom of the 8th, stays in left field. Jose Altuve out into shallow right. And Ray Fuentes is retired for the first time tonight. Tonight's copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Kansas City Royals and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Kansas City Royals Baseball Club. Ryan Lefevre, Rex Hudler, Joel Goldberg. Joel will be joined by Jeff Montgomery after the game, with producer Joe Vencius, director Steve Kurtenbach. Our associate producers Al Broughton, Sam Abramson, Dave Holtzman, and the producer of Royals Live is Brian Shapiro.
Josh Fields, big fastball, 93 to 97. Power curve, just threw one to Escobar.
Base hit left field for Escobar. He has a 2-hit game. Talking again about that amazing comeback for the Royals here during the division series in Game 4. Josh Fields gave up that 2-run home run to Eric Hosmer in the 9th inning, which turned a 1-run game into a 3-run game.
Oh man, Hos jumped all over that one. Hit it in their bullpen.
Tough night for Mike Moustakas. He is 0 for 4. It's been an uphill climb for the Royals offensively. They've had a few chances in the 4th inning. The Royals had runners at 2nd and 3rd and 2 down, but Colin McHugh was able to get Salvador Perez. The Royals had 2 on 1 out in the 5th inning, and McHugh was able to get Moustakas to ground into a double play. And then in the 7th inning, the Royals had the bases loaded, 1 out, and McHugh got Moustakas to pop out to short. And that is every bit good pitching as it is, hanging that on the Royals hitters. Altuve Fields out at second, game over, and 43,332 watched their hometown Astros beat the Royals 8-2. So game 1 goes to Houston, and we will be right back.